Hey everybody, this is Charlie Musselwhite, and you're listening to Athena After Dark. I ain't lying. Thank you, baby.
Hey everybody, welcome to Athena After Dark. So glad to be back here with you. I hope everyone had a great new year. I know we sure did. I had a little bit of a flu bug there. Thanks for everybody's well wishes. I greatly appreciate that more than you know. All right, well, we have a great show tonight. We have a great guest. Bob K is here with us. So let's kickstart this baby and get it rolling. All right, so we're going to start out with 2024 events. Okay. And we all know I love my events, so we're going to give you some heads up as to what we can do. All right, TMMR tickets are on sale. They have 500. Let's see where we are there. How's it going over there, baby? All right?
Ask everybody if they can hear us.
Can you guys hear us out there? Gotta go to the chat over there. Let's see what it says down at the bottom. Yep, can't hear anything. Did you have me muted?
I don't.
Can anybody hear? Never miss a comment. Click on the chat message to display it. Yay.
Let's see where we are in there. How's it going over there, baby? All right?
Okay.
Ask everybody if they can hear us.
I think we got some audio back. Okay, yes.
I don't
Okay.
get it.
Everybody can hear us now. You guys are awesome. Don't know what happened
I don't know
with
if they
that.
heard the.
but,
Yeah, I don't have a clue because we were all on and I didn't do anything.
That's okay. So
That's
we'll
really
just,
terrible. That means I didn't hear any of your
that's okay. We'll start over.
upcoming events.
I know how to do that. Okay, so we'll go back to the upcoming events.
Wait, did you hear Charlie?
Yeah, everybody heard Charlie, and Charlie, they know my intro, so it's all good. Nothing like starting off the fresh year with just a little hiccup here and there.
Yeah, what the hell?
We're ready. Keep the adventure going. All right, Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival. Okay. Well,
Let's see if you're back.
after the word revival. Okay. So maybe I should go slower. Maybe it's my connection today.
I don't know. Let's see.
So I had the flu, and then I had freaking COVID or something. I don't know what. And so now I'm back, and well, now you're back. Okay.
No.
Probably our streaming service. I love that. You know how Don's testing it with his computer over there. You guys are so good. Gotta work out the bugs, right? I think we're only on episode 60. We'll get it eventually. Even the biggest shows have issues. So, okay. the next
Event
the next event, babe.
is
Okay, Mile Zero Fest, Key West, January 23rd through 27th. It's 5 days of music, singers and songwriters, country music. So it's going to be a huge redneck party. And if you want to ride your motorcycle, we have perfect weather for it. So come on down. Okay, so next, we're working this out. Doing good. Bike Week. Save the date. There's like 50 days left, March 1st through 10th. And of course, the reason that we go to Bike Week is for Release Tropical Tattoo. That's Thursday, 11 to 4. So we'll be there too. And then we'll be at the Cycle Source Show and some other good stuff. I'll post that on the internet, on the website. Okay. So Donnie
Now
Smith
you're
Show,
done.
the end of March. That's the good one. We're going to go see
Now you're
Sound.
back.
It's like, well, you're giggling at me. He's giggling at me over
I'm
there.
just giggling
You're
with this, and I
back,
saw
you're
you're
back.
gone
You're gone,
the whole
you're
damn
back.
time. You're back.
Yay, it's a surprise. Yeah, squirrel. Okay, so Donnie Smith Show, this is the end of March, okay, and it's fantastic. It's at the River Center in St. Paul. We're going to be at that one too. So we're going to be at some events this year. Super excited. So while we still have audio, let's get on with the show. We're going to go with the Ask Athena segment tonight. This is a crazy question to start out the year. So this guy, Sydney, says, "What's up, Athena? My name's Sydney, and I'm writing with a very serious question. I'm a real biker dude, and I'm having the hardest time finding a chick that can hang and live the life. Past ones have told me I'm old-fashioned and chauvinistic. What does it say? I'm only 40. What does it say? My light's in the way. More technical difficulties in the camera, out of the camera. So, okay. So he says he knows some of my family and some of my history. No disrespect to my old man, but where does he find a girl like me?" Well, they broke the mold with that one for sure. I'm sorry that your girls keep telling you you're old-fashioned and chauvinistic. If you're a real biker, there's some things that go along with that. I see you, Michael. How are you tonight? Yeah, they broke the mold for sure. Miss Chris Summer Simmons, I love you. Yeah, so old-fashioned. I don't know. I probably shouldn't spill the beans, but like some of the youngsters in my life, some of my kids, you know, they find it hard to relate in a relationship because they grew up seeing different things. You know, the house mouse. I work on motorcycles. I do a little bit of everything. Anything I can get into that's an adventure, I do. But there's still some love and care that goes into the household and the relationship and taking care of what goes on. Chauvinistic, I mean, I don't know about that term. If you open the door for her and you're kind and considerate and you're expecting some things like, you know, a sandwich for lunch. My poor son. A sandwich for lunch, some laundry, you know, and you work your gig and she works her gig and you guys kind of get it together. That's cool. But I also know that there's a criteria for motorcycles. Whether you want your chick to ride or not, that's up to you. A lot of guys think that's sexy. Some guys don't think it at all. And then, well, for other issues like that, I guess when I started out, if I wanted to ride on the back of the motorcycle, I had to wash it and wax it and have it ready on Friday. I cooked the dinner. I did the laundry. I worked my job. I worked a couple jobs in the bike shop and a bar and, you know, anything you got to
Roll the joints without ripping the paper.
roll the joints without ripping the paper. Those were the good old days. The good old days from the peanut gallery over there. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to kind of find a girl who grew up the way you're looking for and not for anything. It's where you shop. If you shop in a bar for a person, that's the common denominator. Shop at the laundromat or the grocery store or the bike shop. She could be, your next girl could be the girl working at the parts counter, or she could be a technician in the back. You never know. So you got to step out there. And, well, if I know of any good biker chicks, I'll definitely see if I could not play matchmaker and give you a list. I don't know. Thanks for writing in, though. I appreciate it more than you know. All right. And, yeah, we're going out. We're going out to Sturgis this year. I see you, Mr. Jordan. Rihanna, I love you. This is so, yeah, and it is, Adley, about being a smart shopper. I love that. So that was Ask Athena. I got a kick out of that because I'm not sure where he knows who in my family he knows, but they're all motorcycle people. And then my history. The history is, it can go either way, you know. So Some people have one story. It's like a fish story, you know. The gold fish started out this big, and then it's the shark. But whatever. Anyways, okay, let's get on to a dose of goodwill because we have a great guest tonight. I don't want to waste any time. You guys know I love it. It's all about the guest. All right, so this is a charity, Motorcycle Missions. Okay, and this young lady, Crystal, has started this organization, and they help veterans and first responders with PTSD, and they do it by helping them heal through motorcycles. It's their hope to encourage participants to install a lifelong passion for riding and building motorcycles, and that'll help them enjoy a happy, healthy, and balanced lifestyle after trauma therapy. So I get that. Motorcyclemissions.org is where you can go, and if you look up the people in the organization, some really great individuals. They're doing a great thing. If you could support in any way, please do donate your time. If you have some money to give, whatever you can, that would be really good. So, okay, on to the next segment. I know everybody's been waiting for this. All right, so we have the Viking bag giveaway. Now, in the middle of December, I asked everybody to write me a paragraph, just a paragraph, about how you would use this Viking bag. So I got some really, really, really good stuff. I was really impressed. But one guy super impressed me, and I'll tell you the reason after. We're going to play a little video. I have this bag here, and let's see if I can get it over here. It's huge, right? And it is a motorcycle. It's like a condominium for your motorcycle, for real. And it's got so much stuff. It's awesome. So we're going to watch a video, and then I'm going to announce the winner. So, all right.
Hey, this is Kendall with Viking Bags, and welcome to a detailed review of the Viking Dagar Sissy Bar Bags. Dagar is an Old Norse word which means day. This is a perfect day bag for anyone who's looking for a bold yet sporty look with a lot of features. The mounting of this bag is easy and quick, making it the best bag for around town. This bag can be secured on a luggage rack, sissy bar, or the back seat. The bag comes with a rain cover and several quick release straps for mounting. The bag includes a top carry handle and shoulder strap for easy toting off bike. The bags have lockable zipper pulls, making it safer for your belongings. The bag is made with heavy-duty Cardura and Viking leather panels. If you have any further questions about these bags or fitment, give our motorcycle luggage experts a ring and we'll be able to help you out. Thanks for visiting us at Viking Bags. Ride safe. Hey, this is Ken.
That's a great video of the bag. It does it justice. There's an extra little pouch on the top for it too, so that's super neat. So drum roll, please, because we're gonna announce the winner. Can you do that? Push the button too.
Oh, wait.
Talent. Okay. So Alex Eskenazi from Astoria, Queens. So the reason that this young man won the bag is because I asked for a paragraph about how you would use the bag or where you would take it. And he wrote the coolest little story and named the bag Bob. He's going to take Bob for a 30-day trip to start to Minnesota, but he's going to hit the west coast of the United States and work his way around and then back down to Florida. So congratulations, Alex Eskenazi. Sorry, I hope I did not massacre your name. And in Astoria, Queens, I will send the bag out to you this week, and we're excited to have you here at Athena After Dark watching the show. It's awesome. Alrighty. We do have some more contests coming up, and let's see, giveaways. So we have some stuff. I'm working with Sarah from Uncommon Vice for some stuff for the ladies, because we have some really good shows with some incredible women coming up in this next month, back to back to back. So you guys will enjoy that. We're gonna put up a little screen of our friends, so companies that we'd like for you all to support: Viking Bags, BikerNet.com, Twisted Tea, Biker Bells. If you ladies are coming to Sturgis, if you're coming to Daytona, Biker Bells morning ride, you have to be there. It's awesome. All right, so Tobacco Road, Harley Davidson. They're also, oh, Alex, he's watching. He's super excited to take Bob all over. That's awesome. Very cool. I'm excited for you too. All right, Tobacco Road, Harley Davidson, Farm Life Creamery, Baker Drivetrain, Open Road Radio, Miss Maggie's South Country Inn. If you guys have to go to Daytona and you want a really awesome place to stay, she books up really fast, so check her out. You can find all the links on our website. Biker Lives Matter, Cycle Source, Paco. Paco is one of our favorite products. S&S2, Chicago Motorcycle Supply, Willie's Tropical Tattoo, yes, and Techno Research, who has been with us from the beginning. So very good. Those are our friends. Please support them. And we're going to have a sponsors page coming up real soon, too. I'm really excited about that. Okay, so we have a great guest tonight. I'm super excited because I've looked up to this man for a long time. I think the first time I wanted to email him, it took me like 6 months, and Don finally said, just push the button and push go. And it was regard to the AMD World Show, because that was my first big show. It was super exciting. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to show some pictures, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a, hi Gina, I see you. Miss Cheryl, Mama Ditch, I love it. This is awesome. You guys are so good to me. All right, so we're going to show pictures of our guest tonight, Sir Bob K. Okay, that is I believe that's a Jesse James motorcycle that was built for him as a gift. We'll get a story on that. I'm sure that's in there too. Okay. Look at that. That's the belt. I think that's Ultimate Builder. Look at that. That's what he does, though. Like, so Bob's history is he started in the motorcycle shops in the 70s, and that's trouble there on both pictures. That black and white shot is good. And then the other photo, that's in Daytona, I believe, at the Biker Bash. Or, yeah, the Biker Bash. It was like a black leather event they used to do in Daytona. And we do the Bikers Bash here in South Florida at Christmas time. And that's where I first got to talk to Arlen, too. There is Bob and Mrs. K, and there's when he was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, he's a Hall of Fame inductee. He's worked with Nemco. He's worked with Biker's Choice, Biker Pro. Look at that. That's Jackson, his grandson. Oh, my goodness. We'll talk about that, too, where he's doing a Stacy bike for the Flying Piston Benefit Breakfast this year in Daytona, which is March 4th. We're excited about that. Yeah, he worked with the AMD World Show, Ultimate Builder Custom Bike Shows. That's like his history. And he's so passionate about keeping our future going. And that's, what he does. I love the upswept pipes all the time. It's so cool. That is so cool. Gotta love it. Yep. Just stopping for a break, get a little picturesque scenery going on. He rides too, been riding for a long time, and you guys will love his history. It's fantastic, and he's an amazing person. So, and there, look at the smile. Grandchildren make you smile like you've never, ever. And of course, him and Mrs. K, that's how those little grandkids got here. We all know how that works. Bless you, honey. I see you sneezing over there. All right, let's get to the next shot. You're so good to me, babe. Look at that face. So I love seeing that face anywhere I go all the time. He is a hamster. He is also very into he's not just an industry icon. He is a motorcycle life icon. It's amazing. So I can't wait to get him on here. All right. And that is his Instagram handle. That's his title, Bob K, Professional Biker at Bob K's Custom Cult. So we're going to bring him in. I'm so excited. I love it. I love this man. We're going to have a good time. Let's do it. Hello,
Hey,
sir.
Athena.
How are you today?
Good. Great job on the pictures, man. You had that all pretty dialed in.
Yeah, we're getting better. It's funny. After 60 episodes, it's starting to roll. We only have the little glitches here and there, like audio cuts out and yeah, those things. But even the big shows have that. So,
Yeah, really. That's part of the new tech world,
It's part of it.
We used to have to reset our points on the road. Now it's reset your computer, I guess. I don't know.
Right. How
Don,
thick is a matchbook?
Don, yeah, how thick is a
Exactly.
matchbook? Exactly. That's it. So how have you been?
Just great. I'm kind of enjoying life. Before COVID, I had been riding out to Sturgis, every year for like the previous 15 years. we'd get together at the shop at 4 a.m. I tell everybody I'm leaving, and if you're here, that's fine. If you're not, I'm still going. You know, I've done it many a time by myself, so I don't really need you guys. But I had a lot of great trips and stories from that. And then when COVID hit, we took care of the grandkids for like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And so that kind of led into my so-called retirement. But, you know, I'm staying plenty busy thanks to Chris Collin and just my general projects I keep up with hot rods and motorcycles.
That's so cool. And you never think you can love anyone more than your kids until they have kids. And you can't explain it.
Truth.
It's the most, my grandson is, I think your grandson Jackson and him are the same age, about 5.
Yeah, he's going to be 5 in a couple weeks. Yep.
Barron just turned 5, and it's just incredible too. They're little sponges, you know, so that's the best part. That is so cool.
That's the truth.
So let's talk about it. You're doing a Stacy bike. I'm doing one.
Yeah. That's Maryland called a little while back, and I always said, you know, if you ever need somebody to help out, so they got me the Stasic, and I had 3.2 choppers help me with some of the fab. They were making a little bobber out of it, so I wanted them to make the tank because it would come out nicer than what I would do. And it did. It came out beautiful. I don't know if you saw any of the Instagram.
I have, yes.
And I didn't want to ask them to do handlebars because I was asked, but they had to. Those guys are into it too. I love JC and Jimmy, man. They're great people. So they did up the handlebars, and I gave them the fenders and some stuff to mount. And I got everything back, took it apart, and it's at the painters right now.
That's awesome. Yes, and I put up your Instagram handle on there, and I'll have it on the website too, so that everybody can go and check it out, because it is really good to keep the kids riding. And I tell everybody that you are pretty much known for your passion for keeping our future alive. Like right now, you're doing some really cool things. But I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, like we'll get into your history with the questions and stuff like that. But you've worked in motorcycle shops, worked for big companies, and you gave up working the corporate deal to go ahead and try to move younger builders and younger motorcyclists forward.
Absolutely.
And keep what we do and how we grew up alive so that it doesn't disappear. So what do you have going on that people can dabble a little bit, check it out?
The big thing is last year, Chris Collin had me on one of his podcasts with Steve Broyles and John Jessup and a few other people, and we got talking about what's going on and independent dealers and the need for that, and went through it was a great podcast, going back and forth, a lot of interaction with the viewers, and at the end of the thing, Chris goes, well, you know, Bob, you got a few connections and you could probably help us get something started, you know, not to mention the logistics. I've dealt with this thing before. I've worked with MIC directly. Mm-hmm. I've worked with SEMA, all in the endeavor to save our culture, you know, and preserve the culture, because you know, we're going to talk about EPA and what they're trying to do with internal combustion engines and everything.
Yeah.
But as important to me anyways is the culture. I mean, I've grown up with this. I'm a 3rd generation Harley rider. That white bike you saw was a tribute to my grandfather's 29 JD that he ordered from the factory. You know, it was a white bike with gold stripes. So we had a few of the things of JD, you know, that we put on it. We cut out around the rocker boxes.
Around the rocker boxes, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's awesome. A tribute. And that I still have his kidney belt from then, and Hylicha made that one for me as kind of a replica to his. So there's just that kind of, you know, that bike itself. Lou Trachtenberg gave me those cases. There's all kinds of people that are involved, that, you know, friends and stuff. That the frame belonged to my younger brother that passed on a few years ago.
Okay.
So that kind of stuff that's so important to us, that a lot of people they don't get why that is so important to us, you know? So, so that culture, you know, that culture is real important. And so what we came up with, everybody wanted to have an independent dealer association. Well, just to have, number one, it's real hard, and I'll go on about that some more, about getting people to sign up and join and support this.
It is.
But to get a lobbyist in Washington, that's a couple $100,000 to make be effective, and we don't have that kind of money, you know, and you're just wasting time. And the MRF, so I approached the MRF, who I've dealt with in the past, and they stepped right up, willing to help us and create the independent motorcycle aftermarket.
Right.
And but you know, part of the reason we call it the independent motorcycle aftermarket, because it is about the culture, and it's about any business that's involved in the culture. So yeah, custom builders for sure, and independent dealers for sure. But also there's people that do leathers, there's people that make their living going to all the rally events. So
Right.
all that. I mean, you know better than
Oh, I
anybody.
do.
That's all part of our deal. So we want to preserve that. So through the kindness and consideration of the MRF, we set up the independent motorcycle aftermarket to focus on the business side of things. And we've already done some great things. They've stopped some movements to restrict the internal combustion engines so they could do more EVs. We've already stopped that. We have things going on to protect our rights to repair and modify motorcycles.
Oh yeah.
Profiling, you know, I mean, when
Yeah.
you get back to the rider side, profiling's still an issue. I've dealt with it a lot. I'm sure you have too, you know.
Constant, yeah. And it you tell some of these kids some of the stories from the 80s, you know, like if we went on the wrong side of the tracks, they would come in full police riot gear. And because we rode Harleys, and it was just the most ridiculous thing. When they look at you like you got a third eye, like you've been watching too much TV. It's like, no, we live that.
Yeah, no, it's you know, I've it's funny. I've talked with guys like Kendall Johnson and some of the other guys that, you know, Kendall was great for his motors and stuff.
I love
And back in the day, part of your deal was dealing with the clubs, and you know, and it's funny because with the MRF, I'm working with the clubs. You know, I've kind of they're a part of our culture, and you know, you got to absorb that. And they do a lot of good stuff too. They really help us out a lot. But the independent aftermarket manufacturers, guys like Lead Sled, Lowbrow, you know, even TC Bros, you know, these are new guys coming in and trying to get involved. We need to support them and support this deal. Part of the thing with the MRF is when I had worked with some of these other companies, they wanted like $400, so they wanted $500 to join, and most people can't afford to do that. So I insisted that the membership be limited to $100. So I think it's a reasonable investment for our future. And you just have to go to the mrf.org and sign up for the IMA. And that goes directly towards the lobbyist. If you're familiar with the MRF at all, 90%, I don't know the exact numbers, but I was at one of their meeting of the minds, and it appears that 90% of the people there are volunteers.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
it is really
Motorcycle
great.
Rights Foundation.
Yes.
Most
they
definitely.
are a great organization, and they got our backs, and they promised, and they've already done it. If we bring up an issue, they're going to get it to the lobbyists. I've dealt with the lobbyists already. So it's just we need to get people, a mass of people, because I hate to say it, but the government doesn't pay attention unless it's enough numbers. You know, they're looking for votes. So you know, so we need people to sign up for that. So that's my big deal right now. I've done some presentations. We should have another meeting in Daytona. I went to their meeting, and Chris and I did a presentation along with Hardtail, and we blew them away. I mean, they were just talking about it all weekend. The stuff that's going on is real. And what I found out in visiting dealers is most of the dealers, you know, I started out in a small shop, and you're so busy doing that, you don't really have time to know what's going on around you, you know, because you're like getting the parts, getting the jobs, working 15 hours a day anyways, you know. So who has time to follow what's going on in Washington, D.C.? But there's a big threat. There's a serious threat out there. leading off with the EPA and internal combustion engines,
Yes.
there are multiple states that are trying to ban the sale of new internal combustion engines, whether it's your motorcycle, your lawnmower, or your car, by 2035. That's not
Right.
very far away, you know.
No.
And then it's real. What it's really about, and we all know that motorcycles really don't emit a lot of emissions or anything for the EPA to worry about. But what that's really about is they want to control us. And with electric vehicles, they can control us. You can't go as far. They can actually have programs that shut you off going down the road.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of weird shit that they can do to us. So again, anything you can do or any of the listeners can do to get their local shops to join and help us, we're doing the good fight anyways. We're not going to just let this go. But all the help we can get with that it's pretty important right now.
Yeah, definitely. And you're going to make sure I have all the links. I know you'll email me just to make sure I have them all typed out correctly. I'll put those up. And yeah, we definitely have to do that because, I mean, they're cracking down on everybody what we can do. It's you can't put a tuner in a bike. You can't. There's a lot of things. And, you know, like around here, we live those days, 17, 18-hour days.
Oh,
we
yeah.
get here at 10 in the morning, and it's like it takes an hour to brush your teeth and just wake up because we didn't get home till 2 at night and made breakfast. And they're just like, you know, breakfast is dinner. That's how that works out. You know, though, it's just the two of us here. So it's, you know, it's constant nonstop. And he does everything from Don has a God-given natural talent. So he's into all the computers. And, you know, he told me one day I have to quit motorcycles. I'm like, why is that? He's like, I can't tune a bike. I'm like, what? He goes, all those specialty tools I have, all the years of carburetors and everything, I need a tablet. And I was like, what? He goes, I have a crackberry. I need a tablet. The next day I went and got him one. It took him 10 minutes and he's already doing cell values and I was just like, okay, now we have a regular program with techno research and stuff, but he does all that. He flashes stereos. He tunes to sine waves. I mean, you know, he keeps up with the times, but for all the older bikes, like with the carburetors and the stuff like that, you can tune it. All this newer stuff, you cannot do that anymore because they've cracked down on the tuners and what you plug in and how you use it and how you tune it because, like you said, because of the emissions and things like that. And what that's done is that's put it's devastated the small motorcycle shop owners, especially because
absolutely. You know,
that's our thing.
60-70% of an independent dealer is selling exhaust, intake, and cams and tuning it all. You know,
Right.
so
Absolutely.
a big chunk out of the road, and they go and threaten you with $1 million fines. So you
Fines,
can't you know, you can't be just ignoring it. You know,
Right.
it's when I went and talked to these shops, it was two things: either they didn't know how serious this was with the government attack, or they just said, "Yeah, these guys aren't going to get me. I do what I want to do, and fuck them." You know, that's it. But that's not true. You know, they come down hard and put a lock on your door and shut it. That's no good for anybody.
They send you a letter first. I got one. Yeah, I know. You know. So, and really when they say January 1st, that doesn't always mean January 1st. Well, last year, January 1st meant January 1st, you know, and where I could purchase and all that stuff. But yeah, people do have to pay attention to that because it's important. And you know what that makes me want to do, right? Just go ahead and build another shovel head or an Evo and stick a nice S&S carburetor on there and tune it, put some cams in and go riding. So
that's the truth, man. I'm a carb guy. S&S carbs, man. It works.
I can tune it to smell. There's that sweet smell that it has when it's tuned absolutely perfect. It's awesome.
That chopper that you saw with the upsweeps, that's the last bike I built. I've been buying some like Rex Softails and just customizing them different ways, you know. But
yeah,
a couple of them are EFI, a couple of the later ones I just got. But that particular bike, that's one of my favorite bikes now, for sure, the new ones. It's got a 111 in it. It rides like it's on a rail. I got the suspension dialed in. It's a sweet little bike, you know.
I love it. It is. I said that too when I was showing the pictures. I love that motorcycle. But that's that thing too, you know. We have a restoration that we want to do. We're gonna put a 111 S&S in there. We just did one in an FXR or dyno, whatever you want to call that thing. They changed the names
FXR.
of everything.
It's
It is
an
an
FXR.
FXR, right?
It's not a dyna.
They changed.
Don't you blaspheme in here.
Listen, I'm not blaspheming.
FXRs aren't dynas,
I'm
man.
a chopper girl, rubber mounted.
Oh, they're all bouncy around.
Bouncy
Makes
around.
your nose itch when you're sitting in the light.
You're so bad. So yeah, over there from the
That
Peanut
111
Gallery.
good motor. It's just right. It just
Square
runs.
motors rock.
Yeah, it's just great. I've had them in a bunch of bikes, and just they really work well. They really do.
So how many do you have now? 10, 12? I mean, because they're like puppies
here's the
to you,
deal.
right?
So I think I got about 20 bikes sitting in the barn right now.
Okay.
Like everybody else that I know, anyways, you get these great deals on projects. I like to build my own bikes.
Mhm.
I've only bought a couple new bikes in 50 years of doing this. But so I get a good deal on a project, and I put that. I got my barn out at the house here is 40 by 48 with 2 floors. So I got enough room to store things upstairs and everything. Well, it's gotten so, and I got a couple cars too. So
Right?
it's got
They
so
don't go
full I can't get to my lift. So here I am. I'm 72 years old, and I'm crawling around on the floor, and I'm working, like that, getting stuff done, which is all right. But I need to do something. So I have 3 nephews that are into bikes. I gave them each a custom bike project.
Love it.
So that gives me some room to kind of do the thing and stuff like that. I told them I would make them rollers, and they have everything they need to finish them. But it's they got to finish them, and I'll kind of coach them through the deal and stuff.
At their house.
So it's
Yeah.
they're
That's
pretty,
awesome.
they're coming down after Daytona to bring them back up northeast. So it's
Very good.
it's pretty cool. You got to keep it you got to keep this culture going. You know.
Yes.
Put your money.
Oh, yeah.
This.
Well, and it's too funny because both my kids, we have 3 kids between the 2 of us. Our 2 older ones, they grew up, he was in diapers and thumbing through the Easy Riders magazine. So, he's 33 now, but for a while they went off to the dark side, didn't think motorcycles were their thing. And for the last 10 years, I think when they hit 18 and 20, that was it. They were like, they rebelled because we had the shop and the things like that.
Huh.
And then now they do more. They get to do more than I do. I look back at them and I think, wow, my 30s. I was doing all that in my 30s. I need to step it up because my 50s. And how old did you say? 72? God bless your heart. You're like fine wine. That's good stuff. I like it. Mrs. K is doing something right. There you go.
We just did in June. We had our 50th anniversary.
Oh, how cool!
So I had committed to judging a bike show in Chicago, and it kind of slipped my mind. It was the same date as our anniversary. So I said, "What do you think, hon? Let's do this." And she said, "Yeah, okay. We're gonna do something special this year." But God bless her. I mean, she's the reason I'm enjoying what I enjoy. She went along with me. We had a nice dinner, and they upgraded our room. We judged a bike show. All the builders at the show thanked her for letting me come to the show.
That's so awesome. And you have been part of some of the biggest shows in the motorcycle culture throughout time.
I've been privileged to travel the world doing bike shows,
Yeah.
I go in Germany and Italy sometimes, and there's people, will come out of the restaurants because they know me and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. And she's still surprised when that happens, I got a funny story. I was in China one time teaching the Tuckeraki people how to do a trade show, and when you're looking for stuff. And we're walking down the hotel, and this little lady comes running down the hallway. Bob K, hello. They took us out. They treated us at night. They had us picked up and took us out and everything.
Oh.
You do this thing long enough, you get to know a few people here and there.
Yeah, and you've done the AMD shows, the Ultimate Builder. You've even been around some Rat's Hole stuff and all that stuff too, right?
I've helped out with those. I was never involved in the organization of those, but yeah, all the different shows, Easy Rider shows,
Easy Riders, AIM Expo. You do all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
That's so crazy.
I
remember the first.
Like you
I remember
said,
the first time I met you. It was at a show.
Oh,
and I go, oh my goodness, that's Bob K. Okay.
I left that, with Tucker Rocky and then even American Iron Horse. I kind of left that whole corporate scene because I got tired of trying to teach these executives from outside of our business what the right thing to do was.
Right.
And at one point, they even offered me more money and this and that. I go, no, you don't get it. You don't understand where I'm at.
Right.
Right.
And this whole idea of being able
Out
to
of my industry.
help young builders, and it's, again, this whole deal about expanding our culture, teaching these kids what it's all about and rewarding them. Those IMS shows were great. I had so many guys that did their first show there and came on to be national builders. It's just, makes you
AMD
proud.
show.
It feels like you're a kid.
Yeah. And it's cool because, like, to your perspective on it, because of the length of time that you and the changes that you've seen, that's the thing too, that, a lot of us are honored when you stop and you take a minute, but you also interact and you have like the same, I think, I tell everybody, I'm not out to make the sale, I'm out to make the customer. You know what I mean? The customer becomes part of the family, and then the family grows, and then we learn about each other, and then they learn about the history. And a lot of them now are younger, and like I said, you tell the stories, and they're just like, really, that happened? And it's like, yeah. And they're like, oh, wow. Or even like my son goes to a camp out in Inglis, Florida, and every November, and there's like 60 of these kids, and they just ride there from all over the country. They hang out for 3 days. They get snot slinging drunk. They're doing burnouts, riding around the campground naked, doing all that shit we used to do. And it's like, wow, it's history's repeating itself. That's awesome.
Thank the Lord.
So how do you feel about some questions?
Yeah, go sure.
All right. Okay. So we're going to start with some fun questions. And care to elaborate when you want to. And if you don't, we want to get into the good juicy stuff. But all right. So dogs or cats?
Dogs, Irish setters.
Ooh, Irish setters. Wow.
Irish setters for 50 years. We just lost our last one about 6 months ago. And we're kind of just going to stay away to do some traveling. So no dogs for a little while, but dogs for sure.
Right. No pitter patter. Takes about a year and there's no pitter patter. And you're just like, okay, I got to fix that. I know. That's Irish setters. They're beautiful. Right? Yeah, there's beautiful dogs too. Are you more of the red or the brown?
The red ones, like, we've had some great ones, The first one we had back in the 70s, his name was Peyote.
Peyote?
So that's reflective of where our heads were at the time.
Right. You went to Woodstock, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that's like...
That was the first time I took all my clothes off in front of 500,000 people.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. I was there. I was in a basket, and my mom wasn't sure how. 3 days later, I was still in the basket, but I was clean and I was fed. I was like, great parenting, Mom. Oh, yeah.
Very few people I've met that have been to Woodstock. That's great. I love it.
Yeah. I was in diapers with pins, real cloth diapers and everything. It was pretty interesting. I've seen pictures. I don't know. So we have Ron Giletti here, John DiConstanzo. I love it. Johnny, big Johnny, he's awesome. We have a lot of people watching here today, so this is so cool. So are you an apples or an oranges kind of guy?
Either one. I like them both.
You got another fruit that's favorite?
Yeah, I like lemon meringue pie. If that's a fruit.
Yes,
it is.
It is. We'll go with that. That is definitely a fruit. Okay, hotel or camping?
Camping for sure.
Yeah.
Got an RV now, so that was one of the changes after COVID. Like I said, I've been riding the Sturgis for years, and there's great stories. Obviously, when you ride on the road all that time. But so we got this 28-foot Winnebago. It's not real big, but good for the two of us, and 18-foot trailer, so I can take 4 bikes, and we just we do about 12,000 miles a year with that. We've done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is too cool. Slow or fast?
Fast. A little slower than I used to be, but fast.
Cams and carburetors.
Cams and carburetors. That's right. Sunshine or moonshine?
A little bit of both, Sunshine, I like to ride during the day, and I like to drink my moonshine at night.
I'll go with that.
Actually, I'm
That'll work.
a bourbon guy, but I prefer to do that at night. I don't like to drink all day anymore, you know.
What's your flavor bourbon?
Makers for mixing and Woodford for sipping.
Oh, Woodford. I've heard that was pretty good. I'm not a brown liquor girl at all. I don't drink too often. I puke too much.
We, you know, I used to do the Republic of Texas Rally for years.
Rock Rally.
The bike shows there, and you know, and I was always just straight drinking whiskey on the rocks. And it's so hot there in Texas and Austin in June, man. It's 105 degrees. So one year I mixed a little lemonade with my bourbon, and it became the drink. And the people there were so nice. Every night the stands would close down. They'd bring me one of those big things of lemonade and a half a gallon of bourbon. And I was right across the concert. So I loved the Republic of Texas Rally.
I loved it. That was one of my favorite rallies. Don's head is spinning around right now because I built a bike. And we built it out of all used parts. We did a great bike. We painted it like the Texas flag.
For a reason.
And we led the parade
Damn
with Ami
straight.
James. But when the judges came out, there was one judge. And that one judge decided, everybody else gave me 90s and 100s. And that one judge gave me 20s and 30s across the board. Which, you know, I guess everybody has their thing, wasn't their flavor, you know, it was a thing, but it was the coolest thing because everybody had to make the ride. That was part of, and it was me and
Richie.
me and Richie from Redneck Choppers. We were the only two to make the ride. And I still only came in fourth place, but it was okay because I led the parade with Ami James, painted like the Texas flag. And if you've never been to the Rock Rally, if you didn't get to experience that, when you're out there and the Capitol building is behind and they're in the center of town, that's an incredible force there. Paul Yaffe was there. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was a great show. It's a shame it's not around like it used to be anymore. You know,
It's not the same, yeah. No.
Not much is.
No, but some of the kids are bringing it back because we're passing on our lifestyle. Yeah, for sure. All right, so what's your favorite song if you had to pick one?
Oh, I don't know. Probably On the Road Again. That's a real good one. Also, I don't, you know, my motorcycle song by Arlo Guthrie.
Yes,
I
love Arlo Guthrie.
In the old days, when I first started out, I was in a racing deal called the Lunatic Fringe, and we, you know, dirt bikes and motocross and stuff. And Ray Brock and Arlo Guthrie, they were in Western Mass, and they were the Trinity. And it was a pretty cool relationship we had and stuff like that. It was some good fun old stuff. All crazy hippies and stuff like that. Really
Red
good.
Ryder did that song.
That's so cool. So, you guys were friends?
Yeah,
you kids raced?
I knew him a couple. He was my roommate in college was John Betancourt, who was already a national racer, motocross, superbikes, and he was closer to Arlo and Ray. Ray lived at our house for a little while. We had a little house on the lake with 10 people living in a little 2-bedroom, 600 square foot house. But
yeah,
you know, that was the way it was back then.
Yeah, I love it. That is awesome. That is super cool. Okay, so what's your favorite food when you're traveling?
Oh God, I don't know. Just whatever's there, I kind of eat. I'm not real fussy about eating. You know, I just travel on the road. When I'm traveling, I'll stop, run into put the gas in, run in the bathroom, probably make a sandwich, a roast beef sandwich, and grab a beer and head down the road again. You know, don't like to waste time when I'm traveling.
Go. I like it. Right. And you travel more alone and less smaller crowds. So
Definitely.
You don't have to spend so much time
alone. I do that a lot. I mean, even when I was in the camper doing the last of the IMS shows, I ride out to California myself. I do all those things. I have no problem with that. But no more than a couple more guys. I've done a couple of those deals where they've asked me to lead a group of new riders. And I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, we learn fast about that, don't we?
Oh, learn real fast, you know. It takes the joy right out of it, you know.
Yes, it does. Okay, so how did you get into motorcycles? How did you get started? What inspired you?
So initially, I was about 10 years old, and my father was, he was an old biker too, and he wasn't into it when I was being raised, but he had been. And a couple of guys came over to talk about guns with him or something, and they pull in the driveway, and they're both sitting on these pan heads. They got white T-shirts with their sleeves rolled up with lucky strikes, the rolled up jeans and engineer boots, and they pull into the driveway, and my jaw dropped. I mean, I just knew at that point I was somehow, I was going to be involved. Now, while I was living at home, I couldn't have a bike because they wanted me to have that generation, the better life and all that.
Right.
But I had go-karts. I had my first car when I was 12 years old. So I was always working on stuff and three-point hydroplanes, all kinds of internal combustion stuff. So I went to college and I met John Betancourt when he's the guy I told you, he was a racer at the time.
Superbike, yeah.
He had been to Woodstock too. So we looked at each other and we go, hey, I think we could be good friends. So we threw my roommate out. He moved in. We never asked anybody. We just did this. And we became really best friends. And I was in school for like a couple semesters, and I told my parents they're wasting their money. It was just a party time, round the clock. It was crazy.
Right.
And John's father was opening up a new shop, and they said, hey, you're all right. You seem to be smart enough. Why don't you come and, you could learn how parts and stuff. So I started out assembling new bikes, taking them out of the crate and tuning them, and getting ready to go. And then I got into the parts department. Then I had my own shop for a little while. Mm-hmm. I ran 7 motorcycle shops in Boston. That was everything but Harley.
Okay.
And then in Nemco, when I graduated from college, so I went back to college because I knew the race. I was a shitty racer, man. I was no good at it. I had a good whole shop, but that was it. So I knew if I was going to do anything, I better go back to school. I got my degree at night school, and Nemco found out, and they asked me to come by, and I checked it out for a couple months, and then Deb and I had saved up some money, so we bought into Nemco. We became a partner in Nemco.
Nice.
And the rest, you kind of know the rest with,
Yeah, Nemco turned into bigger and better, and then
choice the corporate stuff, and then the corporate stuff pulled out to be a joke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it takes a different it takes a different breed of person to appreciate the things that inspire us and drive us. You know what I mean? It's not that however many figure paycheck. It's what you do with it, how you inspire others, how you pass it on. And again, you do a great job of keeping that going. So
also been known to speak my mind. It didn't matter if you were a vice president or a chairman of the board or whatever. If you were doing something wrong, I just told you, So there was one guy that came into American Iron Horse. I forget what his name was, but he was this big highfalutin corporate guy and stuff. And he comes in and he was so far off base. I walked in one day and I said, listen, man, the only thing you need to know is what Bob Kay tells you. That didn't go over very well.
No, I imagine not. That's a thing, though. You have to be honest.
I really don't have any regrets about it because this is what I wanted to do, And if I couldn't do it my way, what was the point?
Right, and you have to have your integrity.
We're still in, and they're probably out.
Yeah, and that's again, a lot of those people have gone by the wayside, and here you are. You know what I mean? So
it's worth more than any written contract anybody ever drew up.
That's right, and that is
that till the day I die.
I'm with you on that. That's what matters, and that's the difference. You know what I mean? Okay, so throughout motorcycling, what has been your biggest challenge?
New rider.
Stop! No comments from the peanut gallery over there, mister.
I think the biggest challenge has been that corporate transition. Trying to get that balance of explaining to them and pushing hard enough, trying to make stuff happen in the right direction, and not compromising, what I know is right and the integrity. So that's That's and I've made some. I've done some adventures. I'm a little bit of an entrepreneur, and most of them have worked out good, thank God, and some haven't. But that challenge was getting those corporate people to understand. And I stand by the fact that had they listened to some of the things I said, they'd probably still be around.
Probably. And you can hear me, right? I'm sure you can't see me.
Right.
Right. Don wiggled the wire over there because he was all tripping up there because he got scolded for being in the peanut gallery. So I'm still with you. Okay. So what's your favorite motorcycle? And all the ones you have ridden, what's your favorite?
What's my favorite? Probably that right now that that I'm riding right now is that chopper that I just showed you. But I do have a 73 FL that's fairly stock looking. It's got a few custom things to it. That's probably my favorite bike. It's just an old bagger dresser that's I put a lot of miles on over the years. I had a high side hack hooked up to it for a while. That's, so between that 73 FL and then that new chopper. Did we lose voice?
Microphone. Let's try that again.
Oh, I lost voice there for a little bit.
And can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. He's over there fiddling with the wires. There's always something. Okay. So what's your favorite route you've ever ridden?
Well, going up to Sturgis, I've tried to take every possible different route that there is. But I think one of my favorite routes is coming out of Texas. There's no good ride the first day. You go 600 miles west, you stay in Rantoul, New Mexico the first night. You go 600 miles north, you stay in Grand Isle, Nebraska. So leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning, if we head out, we can get on the highway for a good part of that first 600, most of that first 600 miles. And it doesn't matter. You're just blasting down the road, 90, 95 miles an hour. We get into Grand Isle. We stay there. There's a nice Harley shop right there. And then we don't get on the highway. We cut across Route 2 on Nebraska, end up at the Badlands. There's a little hotel there right before the park entrance. There's a cute little old lady, red lady, that makes a great pancake breakfast.
Nice.
We go and we ride through we'll pull off at the first stop area in Badlands and tune up, and then just kind of cruise through the Badlands, head over and end up somewhere wherever we're staying. We stay at Chris's campground lately. I've stayed in all kinds of places at Sturgis, so that's one of my favorite routes.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. And once you try all the different ones, you find that one. But any one you pick out there is really a good one. So, what's your favorite rally or event?
Has to be Sturgis. It's just the riding, the people, everybody's there. It's some of the best riding. There's so much going on. Sturgis, without a doubt.
Okay, and then who would you consider your childhood hero?
My childhood hero. That's really interesting. I was my childhood hero is definitely my father.
Okay.
There's no. He taught me about the handshake, what's right or wrong, giving your boss more than he pays you for every day. He taught me about what was right and working hard and not being and enjoy. You got to work, so do it, enjoy it. Don't piss and moan about it. So definitely my dad.
Okay, and then who would you say is your motorcycle hero?
That's I looked at that question, and that's really interesting because when I started in the Harley side of things in the early 80s, I had guys that pulled me aside, like Arlen Ness and Mel Magnet, and a bunch of these guys that had been in there for a long time, Buzz Dyer, Gil from Eastern Motor Parts. All these guys that had really started things, and they really guided me in the right direction. Part of the reason was I sat there and listened to what they said, so I think they enjoyed that. But today, and I'm really privileged about that. But today, I really like Bill Dodge, man. He's done a lot for a lot of people. He's very humble. He's my standing hero today.
I love that. That is fantastic. Bill Dodge is one of my favorites. He's an incredible human being, and I just love him. So, okay, so what's the most fun you've ever had on a motorcycle?
Oh God, my whole life. There's
excellent answer.
It's true though, I mean, I just enjoy it. We had one ride to Sturgis one year. I brought my brother up. He hadn't been to Sturgis a lot, and there's this guy, Big Mike, that I've ridden thousands of miles with. He's a great guy, and one other guy, friend from the local area. So there was four of us, and we're coming back from Sturgis, and we're running down 85, running through Wyoming, and man, the sky opens up. The thunder's hitting the road on each side of us. You can't see where you're going. The rain's coming down so hard. The wind's blowing us 45 degrees to the left, 45 degrees to the right. And somehow I always got the lead in those situations, so I'm just being careful and going along. And I look back, and when I'm leading, I try to keep track of who's behind me. And I look back, and I don't see my brother and Brian. I go, shit, man, so we turn around, and they're on the side of the road. So that's cool. Something broke. So that's no problem. We'll fix it. We go into this ranch, and I knock on the door, and I ask the old guy, says, hey, man, you mind if we use your barn to fix the bike? He goes, no, go ahead.
How
So
cool.
we pull it into this Quonset hut, and we start working on it. Well, either his grandsons, I think it was his grandsons, come back, and they see us in there, and they come over, and they go, geez, man, why don't you come up to the other barn? We got more lights. We got a cement floor and everything. So, yeah, we said, okay. So we go up to this other barn. We get the bike sorted out. It was just the VOE switch was clogged up or something. So we bypassed it. That was real fine. And the guy goes, you guys got any whiskey? And we had been at the Chip the night before. We had a bottle of Makers and a bottle of Fireball. And we didn't drink it because we had to ride back through Sturgis. So I wouldn't let anybody drink, riding back through Sturgis, downtown Sturgis, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
So we broke that open. They said, you guys don't have anything to smoke either, do you? Like, oh, yeah. So we partied that night. We got into his, he had to check the cows out in the fields. We got into his wife's Navigator. We rode out in the field. We had this great time. We got back. We said, is it all right if we just sleep in here? They go, oh, no. We got a guest house. You get to stay in the guest house.
Sweet.
So we all went into the house. These guys, they were so great. And then about 2 o'clock in the morning, my wife, Deb, calls and she goes, you all right? And I said, yeah, hon, I just slipped down the stairs, but I didn't spill my drink. She goes, okay, as long as you're all right, we'll see you in the morning. Boom. We had the best. It was just, those guys had the best time. We had the best time. It was just, and I got 100 stories like that. It's just great.
That's awesome. You can still hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So my next question is, what is your craziest breakdown story?
Well, that was probably it.
That was it? Okay.
Yeah, because we've had times, Sundays we pulled into like a Tractor Supply and asked if anybody had a welding machine. And the guy would come over and say, yeah, bring us to his house. Take anything you want. Use anything you want. Had that a couple of times, do like that. But yeah, coming back from Sturgis again, because that's where most of the long rides were. One of the bikes broke down, so we kind of diagnosed that it was either the coil or the ignition. So I sent my buddy off to two-wheelers to pick up a coil and ignition. We got that, put that back together. they were while he was gone, there was at the bar we were at, they were having a wedding that day. So we got to hang out with all the wedding people. We partied all day while he was out there. He got back. We fixed the bike. And then, so here we go to start it up. It fired right up. Everybody came out on the sidewalk and cheered us on, and we drove on down the road. So it's
awesome.
a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I love stories like that too. So, what's your most cherished motorcycle memory?
There was about 3 years when my youngest brother, I'm the oldest brother of 3.
Okay.
And I had 2 younger brothers, and I had gotten my father back on motorcycles again. So there was about 3 years where all 4 of us got to ride to Laconia together. I was originally from the Northeast. And it was just special. I mean, it was just, my father stayed with us. He rode with us. We kind of slowed down a little bit. But it was just, people don't get to have that. And I did. So that was very special to me.
That's
Well,
amazing.
once he couldn't ride anymore, I'd throw him in the side hack, give him a cigar and a beer, and he was fine.
Happy camper there for sure.
I'd run down the road again. For some reason, I used to always lead the pack, even in the side hack. I'd be running around down those big corners in New Hampshire at 60 with the side hack about 3-4 feet in the air. And he just thought that's the way it was,
Love it. That's awesome. So, if you could go back and tell your 25-year-old self something, what would that be?
You're doing the right thing, kid. Just don't compromise.
That's a good answer. I like that. That is a very good. I think that's one of the best we've had so far. That's pretty good. Okay, if money and time didn't matter and you could take a road trip on your motorcycle anywhere with anyone, where would you go and with who?
Probably do Europe with Deb.
Okay.
I've kind of wanted to do that. I've driven to both coasts. I've driven cross country. I haven't hit every state on a motorcycle, but I've done a lot of the states. I got more to do. I'm not done yet, but the ultimate trip, I think I'd like to spend maybe a month or 2 in Europe, just kind of cruising around.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. All right. So tell us something about yourself that others may not know.
I don't know. I'm pretty much an open book. I passed out my phone number worldwide. I mean, some people guard their phone numbers. I give it out if I can help anybody. I do. I don't know. I kind of share.
You got a hidden talent in there somewhere. You crochet or you jitterbug.
Oh, we do jitterbug. Deb and I, wicked jitterbug. Yes.
I love it.
So you got to realize that we started going out when we were 16 years old. We were king and queen of the senior prom. So we jitterbugged for a million years.
Wow, that is too cool. I used to love watching my parents jitterbug. That was very much a favorite.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Don has 2 left feet, and he'd probably drop me. Otherwise, I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, well, I can't do it so good anymore. It's kind of, I've had a few broken bones in my days. I haven't kept it all up on 2 wheels all the time. So.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us and the worst of us. So
it's just part of the deal. No big deal.
It is. That's part of life on 2 wheels. I think I dropped my motorcycle a ways back, and Don said something to me, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I hurt my pride." And he's like, "When's the last time you did that?" I'm like, "It's been 20 years." He goes, "Okay, get up. We're good for another 20 years. Let's go." I'm like, "Okay."
Right.
Exactly. All right. So this show is home of the 5 good things. We always say if you're having a bad day or someone you know is having a bad day, 5 good things will change your perspective. So would you be kind enough to give us your 5 good things?
Well, family is number 1. My wife, my daughter, and my grandchildren, by far and away, that's number 1.
Okay. I agree.
Number 2 is being a good Christian. I think there's a lot about that, the right way to live and treat people. You know, there is a God, you know, and he rides a Harley as far as I'm concerned, but
Yes.
definitely being a good Christian. America, the opportunity this country has given me, you know, I really don't want for anything. And that's because, and I've worked for it. Nobody gave me anything, but I had that opportunity that, you know, when you travel the world, you realize that everybody doesn't have that.
Right on.
And then I guess, what is that? How many is that? 3?
That was 3.
I guess my, the biker history, you know, the passion that I've been able to share with other people, and what that passion means around the history that I've had in this industry. You know, this now is 52 years I've been working in the industry, from all kinds of stories, you know, we didn't even begin to touch. So that's the passion related to my biker history. And I don't know what else. Just, you know, that personal, just the you know, just loving life, loving people. I guess
Yeah.
are the last one.
You are definitely a people person and a people icon. Everybody enjoys you, and you always have the biggest smile to share. I love that. That's one of my favorite things about you.
It's a lot easier to smile than it is to frown.
That's right. Exactly. Well, I can only say I am so grateful. I know you can't see me because something happened there, but that's okay because we still got you. It was absolutely an honor and a pleasure and fun to have you here and be my first guest of the new year. I'm super excited, and I hope you'll come back and we can talk more stories. Maybe we'll do I got an idea for a little show. I'll tell you about that sometime when I see you in the near future. You might like it. You might be like, yeah, let's do that. So, and I'll make sure I have all the correct information for everything that you're doing with the independent shops and everything, and we'll put it up on the website. And we'll make sure the Motorcycle Riders Foundation, everybody knows about that so that they can get involved and make sure we just keep what we have moving forward for generations to come. That's very important.
I look forward to seeing you in Daytona. I want to see your Stasic. I bet it's going to be very, very cool. So I can't wait to see that. And I'm looking forward to a good time in Daytona.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you there too. It's very, very awesome. Please tell the missus that I appreciate her sharing her time with you, and I will see you soon.
All right. Love you guys. And I can't wait to see you. We'll have some more fun, make some more stories.
Sounds good. Love you too, kiddo.
All right. Good night.
All right. Night. We put up the announcement. You got to maximize. How does that work out? I think all our buttons are stuck. Okay, everybody. That was Bob K. I know you can't see me right now. Something happened with the camera. I just got a new one too, so that's okay. I think maybe I pushed the wrong button or something. I'm messing with Don. But it's been a great evening. I am so honored and thankful that you're all here with us, sharing in the stories that our wonderful guests have for us. 2024 is packed full of great giveaways, events, guests, and so much more. So keep watching weekly. Check out the website, www.athenaafterdark.com, and follow the Facebook and Instagram pages at Athena After Dark Productions for Facebook. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Athena After Dark. We'd love that. We have some sponsors coming up and some really good things. Next week, I have another fantastic guest. We're going to do back-to-back ladies. So if you guys watch Mythbusters, you might want to tune in. All right. So I'll put out the announcements. Thank you all again. Don't forget to follow and share. And thank you so much for being here. I love you all and have a great chopper week.
Hey, and wait, we're going to do one.
Oh, Donnie's going to do a test. He might have me back.
Let's give it a shot.
Let's see.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, we're going to see what happens.
If it goes away, good night.
Well, we're still. Oh, look, there I am. Do I get to be in the screen? Do you get to maximize? We made it. How awesomely cool. So then I get to tell you, and you get to see me. I love you all. Thank you so much. Have a great Chopper week, and I'll see you next week, 10 p.m. And don't forget, during the week, I'm going to put up some videos of Vagabond Chopper, some of the cool projects we got going on, including a cool little bicycle. Have a great time.